Action. Hey everybody, it's me nnektonibiz. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Enika. I make videos here on YouTube. Hi, my name is Enika. I make vlogs, lifestyle, travel, adulting kind of content. So if you like that, make sure to subscribe. If you're not new here, wanna know the single, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. Love you bad. Today we'll be talking about how to rent in Kingston, Jamaica. If you really want to know about that, my experience and what I've learned, keep on watching. Okay, so I asked on my Instagram to just send some questions of what you want to know about renting in Kingston, renting in Jamaica, all of that. To all the people who sent a question, thank you so much. If you didn't send a question, you probably don't follow my Instagram, so you should follow my Instagram at nnektonibiz. So all the questions kind of fell under like 5 points, so I have them written down in my book here. So if you want to hear those questions and the tips, let's get into it. And disclaimer, first of all, if you're come in the comments and say me would have stay home or me just wouldn't move out, we don't know what people are going through. We don't know their money and we shouldn't be watching their money. Yes, we're looking out for them, but sometimes you just want to move out. Sometimes you're not growing in your space. Sometimes you want to live closer to where you work, closer to where you go to school. Totally understandable. And for all the people who want to say, oh, I'd rather buy than rent, do you see the prices? You know how much money for buy a house? People, you know how much money for buy a house? I literally thought that I couldn't buy a house like ever, but you know, proper budgeting can fix all of that. Also, I'm not going to up and buy a house like straight out of my parents' house. Okay, I've always wanted to live in Norbrook. What if I just up and buy a house in a Norbrook? First of all, Norbrook, but yeah, what if I just up and buy a house in a Norbrook? I have to put down the 3% or the deposits or then continue paying for the house, paying for the mortgage. I don't want that on my head. What if after a year or so I realize that, hey, I don't really want to live here, you know, like, and then you buy the house and what are you going to do with it? I mean, investing in real estate is great, but right now we can't buy a house. So for all the people who can't buy a house right now and want to rent somewhere, fresh out of university, fresh out of your parents' house, fresh out of another apartment, moving on your own, moving with your friend, whatever, this video is for you. Number one, the most important thing about renting anywhere is budget. You have to compare your income to your expenses. How much is the place that you're looking for? How much is rent? How much you have to pay in utilities? Can you afford to pay 3 months rent straight up, especially since you have to pay security deposit, first month's rent? Can you afford to buy furniture right now? Because girl or boy, you can't move in nowhere and you don't have a bed. Okay? Unless you're going to buy like a ear mattress and then buy a bed, but you still have to buy a bed. Like, you're going to need a fridge, you're going to need a stove. You cannot move and you don't have those things unless they come with those appliances, and then that's a more money apartment now on you. So you have to really budget things. Personally, I budget every single thing. Everything I spend, if I go buy a patio, I'm budgeting that. And you have to follow the 50-20-30 rule. So 50 is like your needs. So if you need to pay rent, you know you need to pay rent, you need to pay for your bills, you need to pay for this and you need to pay for that, that's 50%, right? Your rent should not be like more than 30%, more than a third of how much you get paid. But you know, renting it in Kingston is very expensive. So if you have to push the 50, you have to push the 50. And you know, say things that you have to pay for otherwise, like your wants, which should be 20% or 30% depending on how you split it up. You might have to go less on that 20% of saving. If you're just losing money, if your pay is coming in and coming out same time, I don't think you're ready to rent yet. I'm not saying don't ever move out. I'm saying maybe right now is not the time. You need to get your money up. Speaking from experience, you have to think about if you drive gas, you have to think about transportation, if you take the bus, if you take taxi fare and $100 again. People, your maintenance, how much for the year? How much for do your hair? How much do your nails and your lashes and your whatever you do, your haircut? How much for your gym if you go to the gym? You have to think about these things while paying rent. Because you might think, yeah, $60,000 not bad for the rent, but can you pay for rent and then pay your bills and then pay for your hair and then pay for Exactly. So you have to think about the budget. That's the most important thing, because it not make sense you move out of your parents' house, rent somewhere that's above your means, and then have to move back in. What a shame. Me? What a shame. I mean, there's nothing wrong with moving back in with your parents, but it's like that's something that we're trying to avoid. Figure out if you can afford to pay your rent by yourself or if you want to live with somebody. Yeah, so just find out if you want to have a roommate or if it's you and God alone apart. Nothing wrong with that. Next thing is the location. So where do you want to live? We're talking about Kingston right now, but to be honest, Kingston is kind of expensive. So maybe you have to go to Portmore, maybe you have to go to somewhere that's like not on your list in Kingston. Maybe you have to go Spanish Town, maybe you have to go Old Harbour, because people commute from those places all the time. I'm not telling you to go to Clarendon, I'm not telling you to go to Manchester, I'm not telling you to go to Mobile. Honestly, for me, my goal was Kingston 6, 8 or 10. But honestly, those places are generally more expensive, like the Norbrook, the Waterloo, the Constant Spring, the Cher Gardens. Those places are expensive. Maybe you can look into moving to Mona, which is still a good area. And if you're coming from university, if you're staying on dorm, that's like very ideal. If you still go to school and all of that, very ideal. Mona, you can go up in the hills because they have some really nice places up in a Red Hills, up in a Stony Hill, up in a them hill there, and they're much cheaper. Much cheaper, some of them newly built, but the issue is commute. So if you're paying less in rent, you're gonna have to sacrifice more money to put in like your transportation. I get that if you want to live in your corporate area, you want to be able to walk to work, quick drive, not a lot of money for taxi. If you just want to move out and you want somewhere nice and you're not concerned about being too close to work, too close to school, too close to your gym, too close to your friends, too close to, I don't know, sovereign. If you're looking for somewhere, if you're looking for like a gated community, that's obviously going to be more money. If you want somewhere with a pool, tennis courts, if you want all of that, obviously more money. You have to think about your non-negotiables though. A non-negotiable for me was I would want to take one taxi to go to the places that I usually go. So I move somewhere that it would be one taxi and I don't have to go like half a tree, then somewhere else, or put gas in the car every day to get to that one place. If your non-negotiable is you need somewhere where you need a dryer because you're not really hang out clothes and them something there, you're gonna need a dryer, or you're gonna need to buy a dryer, or you're gonna need somewhere with a dryer. You just have to sacrifice those things. If you can't really afford it, then you're gonna have to think about doing something for less. Maybe you're going to have to pay for this Wi-Fi versus that Wi-Fi to save a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, next point. I usually get a lot of questions on this, but where are you looking? Where are you looking for these houses? Because depending on where you look, there are different price ranges, different types of houses on the different places that you look. So there's your Property Ads JA, there's your Century 21, Keller Williams, Caldwell Banker, Sagicor Properties, Gleaner Classifieds. Do not sleep on Gleaner Classifieds. Jamaica Classifieds, all Facebook Marketplace. You can look for houses and apartments or whatever you're looking for. So generally on Century 21 and Caldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Surgical Properties, those places, they're generally more expensive. Of course, Century 21 and Keller Williams, Century 21 and Caldwell Banker, and then there's like Get Keys. Those are generally more expensive because them just have the uptown house them. And those places always have realtors. Since those places are brokerages, they always have real estate agents to try and sell you these houses. That's why one, it's gonna be more expensive, and they focus on different areas. If you go on like a Gleaner Classifieds, Jamaica Classifieds, Property Ads JA, those places you don't need a realtor, which is in a way a blessing and a curse, because the blessing side is that it's going to be cheaper. Obviously, I found a majority of the places in my budget on Property Ads JA and Jamaica Classifieds. So yeah, those are generally cheaper because they don't work with realtors, or not all properties work with realtors, which means there might not be a rental board agreement, which you need to look out for. The ads in the Gleaner or Jamaica Classifieds or Property Ads JA can literally just upload it yourself. Like I could make an account and take picture off of Pinterest and take picture off of Google and say, hey, I'm renting this place, da, 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 and it could be a scam. People, When I tell you I never almost get scammed, but this man was trying to scam me. Like, I was on Property Ads JA because that was like my favorite. But yeah, I was on Property Ads JA, and this man was like $40,000 for a 2-bedroom on Hollywood Drive. Now, I didn't know what Hollywood Drive was, but I looked it up on Google Maps and it said it was off Hope Road. Perfect. Off Hope Road? Yes. I went to Arden, right? So I would just drive on Hope Road all the time, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I wish I lived on Hope Road. Oh my god, you know, and Sovereign up on Hope Road, and Devon House round the road, and what else is on Hope Road? A lot of places on Hope Road and in and around Hope Road, right? So I was like, this is literally perfect. I'm gonna reach out to this man right now. Oh, he's saying, oh, I'm only rent to people overseas, and I don't remember what. And I was just asking, can I see the place? May I message him, hey, can I see the place? Can we see it? And it's a foreign number, and so I'm thinking, okay, these people live in foreign, they're renting down in Jamaica, which actually is not too foreign, but I would recommend that you would not do that. But all now I'm gonna see the place, and the place is very unreal. Like, I even went on Google Street View. That place did not exist. That place was not Hope Road, and ain't no way anywhere on or off of Hope Road is going to cost $40,000, especially if it's a 2-bedroom. The cheapest you can probably get somewhere nice like that on Hope Road is like $90,000. The cheapest, probably 110 right now, because everywhere is raising their prices. You know, some I'll go on Property Ads, and I saw this 2-bedroom on Maxfield Avenue for $60,000. Another tip I have for you guys is you can look into a realtor. You know, the places that the realtors are offering might be more expensive, but you don't actually pay the realtor. The person who's trying to get their place rented pays the realtor. So you can talk to like all 5 realtors at once if you're really trying to find this place. Yeah, take that into consideration, guys. And I cannot stress this enough, do not just go to the first place and choose it, because there will always be somewhere better. Nothing or nowhere is perfect. Maybe you may think it's perfect, but you need to keep looking, because who knows, by the time you move there, you can have an issue with the neighbors, you can have an issue with the landlord. Yeah, so just look. It's not a crime if you look at 10, 15, all 50 apartments. It's not a crime if you look for a whole year before you decide to move out. I think the best times to move out is like September and January, because for some reason deals always there, you know. September and January, new year, new me, new apartment. Just keep looking, never stop looking. Even when you're in your apartment, go and look in your apartment, because it can always be better. Guys, just some extra stuff to note. So when you are signing up or sending in your offer for an apartment, they're going to ask you for proof of income. They want to know that you can afford it and afford it comfortably, which is reasonable, right? I mean, some of these places that don't work with realtor, them just say, oh, you want to rent it, you have the money, final. But these other places, you have to write up a whole, sign up a couple forms, like a renter's agreement form, Jamaica renter, something. A bag of forms you have to sign. You have to send in your ID, you have to send in a lot of things. You have to send in bank statements, just for them to know that, hey, I can depend on you on paying the rent. You're not going to bring my house, you're not going to bring my apartment to shreds. That's a general tip before you sign in. They're going to ask you for sometimes a security deposit on the first month, sometimes the first 3 months, first and last. Yeah, that's generally how it is. Be careful of your landlord. About to go crazy right now. Speaking from experience, be careful of your landlord, because there's some generally evil people out there. Some people just want money from you. So if you get a bad vibe, listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. Note the red flags. Okay? Make sure you take a picture of everything. Take a picture of the wall. Take a picture of the door. Take a picture, like, when I moved into my apartment, I didn't take pictures of everything. But because I do YouTube, obviously I was vlogging everything, so I could see what had a problem from the get-goes to prove at the end, hey, I didn't do this. You can go ahead and give me back my security deposit. You know, when you are going to look at these apartments, for safety purposes, if you're a young lady, go with somebody, because you will have your questions, maybe they have questions that you're not thinking about. So yeah, that's another thing. Make sure you ask your questions. If you know say you have a cat and you can't give away the cat for nothing, you can't give away the cat for nobody, ask them, you guys allow pets? Can I bring my dog over here? Can I bring my fish over here? Generally, unless it's kind of upscale, that's a no-no in these places, or unless it's like a house. Or but yeah, generally asking these people if you can bring a pet is a no. But more important questions you need to ask, like, hey, what's the lease agreement? Do I sign on for a year? Do I sign on for 6 months? How do I pay? Is it bank transfer? Is it cash? Do I gotta send you a check? Other questions like, are the bills included? What kind of utilities do I get? Is there a heater? Do I get water with this? Those type of questions. You have to learn your community. So if you can, if you see a neighbor, try to talk to the neighbor, because sometimes the landlord or the real estate agent will lie to you. Them just want you to give them money and they will lie to you. You have to find out about your community, like, do they steal cars in your area? Can you go to a bus stop and catch a bus? You can ask the landlord, hey, what are the bills generally like? Because you know some places have a set water bill, and they can tell you like from the experience of the last tenants, stuff like that. Research the area. Yeah, so I think that's all the tips that I have. If I forgot to say anything in this video, or you have a question, just go ahead and comment it down below. That would be really helpful to me and all the other people that are watching. If you want to see more videos like this, also just let me know. Make sure to like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. What am I doing? Subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Later, people.